Hello and welcome to another episode of Boss of Time. Today I'm going to talk about a tool that saves me time so I can become the boss of time again, and that is Texau. Texau is a tool that helps me on two domains basically. The first domain it helps me on is lead finding, lead enrichment, everything with finding more prospects for my business. And on the other side, it helps me to create more impact with less effort for my social channels. So I use it for those two things. There are a lot of use cases I use it for today, but I will only show you three today, and there are the main use cases that I use it the most for today. If you want more use cases, please leave a comment and I will dive into that later on. So let's have a look at Texel. So if you look at Texel, there are a few things to know. It's an automation tool. So basically it does stuff for you without having to do it yourself. If you look at the integrations it has integrations with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google Maps, YouTube. A lot of integrations are already there, so that's a good thing. I use it for mostly for my social media kind of things like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, but they are already there. And one of the questions that some people ask me with tools like these: are they safe for your social accounts? And the question is not yes, but also not no. You have to be very careful while but using these tools. For example, LinkedIn has a clear policy with using tools like this. It's a no go. Instagram, the same. It's a no go. So if you use them in a smart way, your account probably won't get flagged. So you have to do it on a smart way. And that's what I try to do with my accounts to keep them safe at all times. What also is important with that note is that you have two main use cases with Texa. You can use proxy or you can use the desktop application. I'm not an ITer, so I won't dive into to it much because I don't know anything about proxies. So I stayed away from the proxies and I just use the desktop app. If you're new to automations, don't ever consider using the web application. Always use the desktop app. It's way safer, it's way smarter, and it will probably get less issues with your social accounts. So please do that one. So let's start with the first use case. The first use case that I will show you is how I find new leads for my business, and I will show you the example with insurance companies. Just to make it clear, I'm not into the insurance company market, but to show you what is possible. If you go to Google Maps, and I will do it right now, and I look for all the, I'm Dutch, so of course I can't give an insurance broker or something like that. If I look for all the insurance people around Ghent, a Belgium town, in Belgium, you get this URL from Google Maps. And what you do is you copy that link, you go back to Texas, and I will create the spice or the recipe with you together. What you should know about Texau is they have spices that are one-time automations, and they have recipes that are actually a string of several automations put behind each other. So what I will do is I will create a new recipe. So I have the Google Maps link. Let me show you Google Maps search extractor. I found all the insurance brokers around some certain city. I will copy the link of that one. What I will do right after it is what I want is basically I want all their email addresses and I want all their LinkedIn profiles. How can I do that? I click on this email box. I select my space, find emails using domain, because in Google Maps they also find the domains of that website. So I will use this one, the company domain. What I need to do right now is I should give the variables about the last automation, and that is the website URL of the business. And then basically I'm done for this spice. So what I will do now is I will let the spice run. It's outside my screen recording, so sorry for that. Now it's started, and let's show the results shortly after this one. So let's go to the results. And this is another question that I get a lot. If I take a subscription on Texau, how much processing time should I take? Well, I took, I think, a recipe that took some kind of time. But if you look at the processing time, this recipe that we just did together, it only took me 2 minutes and 11 seconds for a lot of results. Let's go to the results real quick. And what you can see over here is that you basically, I will show a bit more results. Show 40. It has a lot of email addresses. It has 12 pages of email addresses, but it also found if there is a LinkedIn profile available or a Twitter profile available, for example, it also uses that. And that brings me to my second automation I do a lot in Texel is I use it for LinkedIn purposes. So what I could do is all the LinkedIn profiles that it found, but in the insurance company in Belgium, there isn't much use of LinkedIn. It's more in other niches. What I do over there is I visit all those profiles, and this is also one of the spices that is possible with Texel. So what I just do then is I take the list of all the LinkedIn profiles it found, and I just go visit all those profiles. Just let me show you what spice I use then. Um, view a LinkedIn profile. It's this one. So I do an export of the results. I import it over here. So let me show it. I import that CSV and I let Texel do an autopilot visit all those profiles. What I don't do is I don't send messages to them. I don't do connection requests. But my tagline in LinkedIn is a very call to action. Is want to talk about this topic, please give me do a connection with me or send me a message. And what I see is around one out of 20 profiles I visit, one out of 30 profiles I visit, they send me a connection request. So they basically come to me, and then it's way easier to send a message myself without having to put any time in it. So those two things combined are my main use on Texau today. So I look for new prospects, I look for new lead enrichment, and then I try to do something with that leads that I found on an automatic way without trying to trigger my social accounts such as LinkedIn way too much, because visiting a profile is way less intrusive than sending a message or do a connection request. This is how I use that part today. And then let's finish with the last thing that I use it for, and that is Instagram. I will be honest with you, Instagram is more like a playground for me. It's more like to see what works, what doesn't work. I'm not that active in Instagram. I must say I have a few accounts with a few thousand followers. And why I use it is to just see what works, which tools, automation tools work and doesn't work. And now I started to use Texel on it. I will share some results with you. I won't share the channel with you because I'm not sure how much the Instagram police is watching this entire thing. But to show you an idea, these are the results of the last few weeks, and I just used it the last few weeks. You can see I have an extra following base of more than 8% at this time. And my profile views has also increased with 300%. My post reach as well. I post one every 2 days or something like that. So that this is low, it's very normal. My post engagement is also low, or not that high, even though it increased with more than almost 300%. But what I noticed is the last few days I've been toying around with posting directly with the Instagram app instead of posting with a third-party app that uses the API. And what I've seen is if I post directly within the Instagram app, I get up to 5 times more reach. So I'm starting to think that it's more beneficial for you to post directly in the Instagram app, even though I'm not sure if that makes sense or not at this time. But let's be honest, almost an increase of 10% is pretty impressive. I never got that reach because if you look at the last year, for example, but I don't can show you those statistics, my amount of followers even decreased a little bit. So I never got those results with any automation tool I use at the moment. I will quickly show you how I do it at this time, but the main quick giveaway that I can show you is the moment you start unfollowing profiles, you break the algorithm, and what I see then is it stops increasing. So what I would do is I wouldn't do any unfollowing until you're at a certain amount of followers, and do then for some kind of time unfollow the people that aren't following you back before you do another bulk following of new profiles. So what I do, and this is my way of working, I'm not sure if this is the best way of working, but it works for me. I will show you some results. Um, what I do at this time is I extract I use this spice. I will show you the Instagram spices, because with Texau you can do way more than what I do. But I follow the people of a page that is a bit bigger than mine. So why do I do that? If I see that a page is a bit bigger than mine and it has some active followers, I know if I follow them, the chance is more likely that they will follow back. If I do it with a huge account, chances that they will follow a small account like mine isn't that big. So what I do is I take a little bit bigger account. I follow about 30 people of them. So what I do is I use this. I will show it on the result. I take the Instagram followers of some kind of page, just to show you. It took me 9 seconds. Again, processing time, not that much, to find 30 followers. Why 30? Because you can only follow up to 50 profiles, I think, a day with Texau without being flagged. I stay below it. Why do I stay below it? Because I don't think following too much profiles is good for your account. So I just do a daily following, about 30 profiles a day. So what I do is I follow those 30 profiles, and a bit later I use those results. And what I do with those results is I run a spice using those results, and the spice I use is this one, Instagram. And what I do is not post, but I like the recent post of an Instagram account. So I do this manually. You could also make a real recipe that just does what I show you right now, but I just do it manually. I just like the recent post of that last 30 followers that I followed. So what it shows is if they don't follow me back directly, I do an engagement on their page, and what I see is then there's another group that follows me back. And about 50% of the people that I follows me back right after. Some drop out in the long run, but most stay. So what you see is you have a steady growth of your account. And what I noticed, I've been playing with Texau for 2 weeks on Instagram right now. I get a lot of organic extra followers. And I believe that this is because I don't unfollow profiles, and they give me fresh people to show my profile to them. Maybe it's interesting to follow them as well. So I see that I get a lot of organic reach as well by using this spice. So this is what I do on Instagram. It works for me right now, and I will keep you posted with the results that I see in the next few weeks. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any suggestions, any comments, any thoughts, because I just use tools like this based on my own experience, please leave a comment. Also know I have a small group on Facebook that I share experience with the tools that I use. Feel free to join that page as well. If there are any other things that I should show you with Texau, please let me know. And I'm happy you watched until now, and hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.